I'm here for Beyond the Gates season 2, episode 152. And I just wanted to start off by saying that conversation between Naomi and Caroline, I totally missed the first time. So I'm glad I'm actually rewatching this episode before I did my review, because I think that Caroline wants to say something to Naomi, especially based off the fact that Naomi asked her about the conversation that Caroline previously had with Chelsea. But I think in the back of Caroline's mind, she doesn't want to say anything based off that conversation that she had with Bill, and Bill telling her to mind her business. And there's a a place or a difference between familiar and professional. And so I think she's keeping that in mind. But I do eventually think that Caroline will end up saying something to Naomi. Also, we see that Haley has come back to the hospital to be with Bill. This is right after, she was escorted out by security a couple of episodes ago. So while Danny and Andre are at Orphy Jean's having a breakfast because, they just had a night, they just had a time. Um, this was right after the whole coloring book situation. In comes Heather, and Danny spots Heather, and Andre now can see and witness and figure out that Heather and Danny have spent time together and that they actually know each other. And so now Heather is being extremely messy because she knows that she's putting Andre in a hard spot. Andre, I'm hoping that it doesn't take you forever to confess. I'm hoping that you soon say something to somebody, because this is going to get incredibly messy real fast. Real fast. Cat, dump that chicken dinner and get with a winner. Dump that chicken dinner. Whatever. Cat is having supposed to be a meal date with Tomas at Uptown, but Tomas just got a text saying that he has to go. But Kat says that she needs to have a dinner or lunch or breakfast date with Chelsea because they have something big going on. And then the camera pans to Chelsea. She's sleeping, and we can see Madison rubbing her face. Hey, Madison, about time you came back. Bill been in the hospital for days, girl, and you have been nowhere to be found. Madison, where you be at, girl? And why we couldn't get a hold of you out there in Denmark, girl? Anyway, she's back nonetheless, and she's trying to comfort Chelsea because Chelsea is having night terrors. Andre want to throw up. Andre just want to throw up. Danny done invited Heather to sit down at the table, child. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Heather is just messy. And in comes Randy sneaking in all black, like we ain't see him go sit down at that table. Like we just ain't see him. We saw you, Randy. We know you following Heather. Also, Bill and Haley is making this big deal about him wanting to be discharged. But I'm just like, Eva and Kat stayed in the hospital longer than Bill did, and he done got a whole pacemaker installed. And they just, man, I ain't never seen somebody who just don't want to live, Bill. Like, you just cruising for a bruising. Then it's just like, ain't that much hunch in the world that you want to get out the hospital talking about being discharged. I know you don't like hospitals and everything, but this last stint with you coding 3 times and you having to get your heart done because you done fell out in cardiac arrest should have scared him straight, but it did not. Both Danny and Bill have now texted Chelsea. We see that Chelsea has had a nightmare. This is the 1 year anniversary since the incident with her and not her and Madison, her and Allison. And so she's kind of reliving some of the trauma. She's trying her best to power through, but she's struggling with it, and we can see it. The slime ball of a lawyer, Mike, has reached out to Tomas because Bill is, still in the hospital. So instead of dealing with Naomi, he decided to incorporate Tomas because, he's misogynistic, of course. Tomas informs Naomi that Mike has reached out to him and he is on his way. And so now Mike is, saying that they want to settle and they don't want to go to court. And so now he's basically trying to cause complications with everything because Bill and Naomi do not think settling will be beneficial to Madison. It's going to make it look like it's an admission of guilt and that she just is ready to get over with. Also, this is Tomas and Naomi clashing. And, it's really not gonna work out for Tomas on the back end, because even though what he think he is doing is right, um, once Naomi tells Bill what's going on, Bill is gonna be furious. Also, we see Kat and Chelsea meet up to discuss their business, and Chelsea is, trying to participate and trying to keep, everything straight. But, of course, she's still struggling with the fact that, this is the anniversary of her incident, and she keeps getting these strange phone calls of somebody hanging up. I just wish that the writers would have incorporated her, possibly, like, I know she didn't want to change her lifestyle too much, and I know that, she wanted to continue to work and push through, but there was a time where she was not online as much and was trying to do more to not be as out there as she was before. But I do wish they would have incorporated, her changing her number and, going through the steps of her making her life more private and amping the security around her after this issue. But they didn't incorporate that in the writing, and I think that would have gave them a little bit more of something of a story to tell if they would have incorporated that, because it's kind of like the incident with Chelsea and Allison happened, and then it just was over with, and now it's been like a year later, and now it's come back up. After Danny and Andre say their goodbyes, Andre heads to Heather's hotel, where he tries to plead with her that whatever this is to stop, and he asks her, is she following him? Because how did she just pop up at Orphe Jeans while they were there? But I think Heather is lying. I'm almost sure that she's lying, because she has to be having Andre followed. There's no way she could just pop up on Danny and Vanessa and try to make friends. There's no way that whole situation just happened and she called it divine orchestration, girl, blah. Andre, you need to say something. Also, Naomi just left out of Bill's room telling Bill what was up with the whole thing with Tomas and Mike and the whole situation with the court case with Madison. And now Tomas has walked into Bill's room, and I'm pretty sure Bill is about to lay it into Tomas, because Tomas has stepped out of line. Um, I feel like this is gonna push Tomas to leave the firm, but I don't know exactly what's gonna happen after that. I don't know if Tomas will leave and go to Mike's firm, or what will have you. But this is gonna make a situation for something messy, of course. Allison is playing on Chelsea's phone. Kat answers she is not pleased. Um, Andre still trying to beg and plead with Heather. She talking about some, you can give me what I leave Danny alone if you give me what I want. Andre, you better say something and stay clear. Shoot, matter of fact, if I was Andre, I would have immediately went and saw Joey. Um, I would have told Danny. I would have told Vanessa. I would have told everybody, because she being messy, and we don't know what she's there to do. I think that she's there to do a double whammy, and she's there to, I guess, get her claws back into Andre, and I think she's there to try to do something to Smitty, but we have yet to find that out. Also, the whole presentation of what they're going to do in Tokyo, Chelsea and Kat, um, they're trying to figure it out, but it's just that these calls keep coming through, and Kat definitely said she could hear somebody breathing on the phone. So Chelsea is convinced it's Allison. So if they gonna incorporate Allison, listen, this time they're gonna have to take Allison out, because she gonna come back with a vengeance. They need to get Chelsea security. They need the whole family need to be on their toes for real. But yeah, I think that's all I have for this episode. What y'all think?